Hey guys, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but this is basically my neighborhood. Have a look. This is our playground growing up. I mean, this literally was where we played. And I'm wrapping up my second walk of the week. I'm allowed to do 15 to 20 minutes because it's only been a week and a half now since the surgery last Wednesday. And it's embarrassing to say that it's probably been at least 10 years since I walked this cliff. And not a word of lie, I see this from my kitchen window. And I don't know, it's been a remarkable experience to know, one, that what I had long ago thought was impossible is actually possible. I couldn't walk across the street like a month ago and be able to carry on a conversation. I just walked for 15 minutes and now I'm doing a video. That seems absolutely remarkable to me. Obviously though, still absolutely out of breath. I'm going to finish the blog in the car. It's going to be a short one this week. I want you to read the post. Hey guys, back in the car now. It's a little less windy and I'm a little warmer now than I was 5 minutes ago. I want to tell you a little bit about what the last week has been since surgery. The last post in the blog was kind of like a summary of everything that happened during the surgery itself. And I have to say, the recovery so far has been incredible. I have had zero pain. I haven't taken anything except that one experience with codeine, which, wow, I mean, there's a reason there's a market for that. But, except for that, the day of the surgery itself, I haven't taken anything and I haven't had any pain. I had a lot of discomfort for about 3 to 4 days. But basically, by Saturday and Sunday, by Easter Sunday, I was feeling like myself. I ended up staying in Fredericton at my brother's because we flew out of Fredericton because my brother came with me, who I have to say was a godsend the whole time that I was away. He came with me. Him and his girlfriend Danielle took care of me basically back in Fredericton. I got to spend Easter with them. I can't imagine having done this without them. I mean, John is John. I know that he's always there for that sort of stuff, but support from everybody matters a lot during something like this. And to know that so many people, and not just, the fact that I'm doing this publicly, but I mean people who know me, who really know me, support this and have been so encouraging and so helpful has made this so easy for me. So that I didn't get out of Fredericton until Easter Monday. Drove home that day. Driving home, 7 hours driving was probably the most strenuous thing I had done since surgery. And that was a little difficult. I just really couldn't wait to get off the road. Really, by the time I hit Cape Breton, I was ready to just kind of, live in Port Hawkesbury at that point. So that's the drugs. I mean, there really wasn't any pain medication or anything. I have a picture of the scars, which we'll put in here. Nothing really to say about those. I mean, I had the 4 little ones that were all where the kind of like the laparoscopic tools actually went in. Then I have the one larger one. There's still a stitch in that one, and that'll come out next week. But no pain associated with any of those either, which is remarkable because, other surgery I've had before, I have had pain. So that was interesting. The follow-up with the clinic, I've never seen anything like it. The nurses and the doctors are calling. I'm getting constant emails from the dietitian. The Surgical Weight Loss Center made that a phenomenal experience. And everything that they offered in terms of support has been, it sounds stupid to say that it's been right, but it's been helpful, more than being the right information. It's been usable information. And, you have fears when you live in Cape Breton and the clinic itself is in Mississauga. You have fears going into this about what kind of patient experience you're going to have, seeing that you're not around the corner, from them like some of their patients. But a third of the patients that the Surgical Weight Loss Center actually takes care of come from outside of Ontario. So they are used to this. They're used to offering support by email and by phone and working on your schedule. And, they've been fantastic. They've been incredibly supportive, and they made the last week remarkable. The other thing that really came about in the last week was a brand new obsession of mine. and that is myfitnesspal.com. It's a website that's basically, I'm calling it like accounting software for your health. You put everything in, everything that you do, cardio and strength training, if you're doing any of that. You put in your whole diet, everything that you eat. If you're using your mobile phone, like my iPhone here that I'm recording on, any phone that has a camera, you can download the app and you can actually scan in the barcode, the UPC code, off the back of items in the grocery store or out of your cupboard or anything like that. And it keeps track of all the nutritional information and tallies it up for your day, and you set goals, and it reminds you. And there's a whole little social network side of it where it functions kind of like Facebook. So my friends are on there, my coworkers are on there. There's a whole other world of support there at myfitnesspal.com. So if you have an account already, feel free to add me. It's Big Deal, WLC, Big Deal's Weight Loss Challenge. You can find me under that, and you can give me an ad. My diary is on there, my food diary. My diary, I write it in every night before bed. My food diary is on there, and you can see kind of like the choices I'm making. And that's been really helpful to me too, now that I'm eating again, and I'll talk about that in a second. It's been interesting to have people see the choices that you're making and comment on them and offer you alternatives and offer their advice and say, hey, I didn't know that product was out there, or, it's been really, really helpful. It's encouraged a whole lot of conversations that I just don't think normal people have in the run of the day. Like, what soup do you buy? Stuff like that. That's been really interesting to see. So, about food, I guess that is probably the biggest change over the last week. So, from surgery, like last Wednesday was surgery. Wednesday was just fluids only, clear fluids. And then Thursday was full fluids. So, I was allowed to have things like broth, and that was a big step. I had basically a week of that. Starting on Friday, I was able to put in my meal replacements again and drink the shake I was on during the pre-op. But allowed to introduce things like, no sugar added, sugar-free Jell-O and stuff like that. And that was, it was weird. It was very weird just to even be having stuff in your mouth again that's not that shake after 4 weeks. And the other incredibly weird thing was knowing that the minute that I was eating broth and, putting the small amount of fat that's in that, and the small amount of, well, actually, there's no sugar in the Jell-O, but you're putting things in your body that hadn't been there in 4 weeks. And in doing that, you're kind of knocking yourself out of ketosis. And that means I'm not losing weight at 2.2 pounds anymore. Now, I've lost 60 pounds. I mean, I have no regrets about how the pre-op diet went. It went phenomenal. And most importantly, it did what it was supposed to do in terms of minimizing risk. My liver was in acceptable shape for the surgery when I was there, and that was the whole point of that pre-op diet. But food-wise, knowing that I'm not in that crazy weight loss stage anymore, and that now I have to, take care of myself. I need to make good food choices, that I need to exercise. I need to track all of this and be conscious of it, because that's kind of what motivates me. If I see it broken down on paper, I know that I can back it up with actions. It really is like accounting software, dollar in, dollar out. I understand this. Again, it's another one of those click moments where that made sense to me, and it really never made sense to me before. And the other thing that is interesting about eating now, because for that week I was basically on the full fluids. Now I've entered my puree week, where I make everything look like cat food. And, if you close your eyes, it still tastes like what you're used to, but it really does look funny. So I'm not enjoying the texture, and I'm a guy who likes food, obviously, but I'm a guy who likes preparing food also, and I really miss that. And it's been really fun to meal plan again and to shop again, to go into a grocery store and know now that I've taken those first steps to break the old habits. I'm not buying the stuff I used to buy. I'm trying brand new things, even though, you saw how close I live to the ocean. That was basically, the Atlantic Ocean's our backyard, and I never took to seafood. I hated seafood. Never really tried it, just didn't really want it. Mostly because of texture and smell and stuff like that. But, I'm on like a protein mission now. The first food out of every meal is a protein. My main goal in every day is to get my protein level, really in the 60, 65 grams a day range. And that's challenging if you're not eating fish. So, chicken for 2 days, and then I got bored. So now I'm on to haddock. Had haddock for supper tonight. Not something I had ever had before. I'm sure I had it when I was a kid, but not something that I've ever chosen to have before. And it was really good, and it cooks quick. Like it was like 20 minutes in the oven, and because that's so soft, I don't have to puree it. I just kind of flake it off with my fork. So it's exciting to be back into the world of food, to be seeking out recipes, to talking to you guys online about recipes and stuff that you're using, and piecing all that together. I still have until next Wednesday in the world of purees, and then I move on to soft foods. So basically, I can introduce veggies again. They just have to be like basically what would consider overcooked. The only stuff I'm going to steer clear from, really, that's completely off the list for next week is stuff like white bread, pasta, rice, if it's not really, really pureed. Anything that's going to possibly get stuck in that band will be off the limits next week. And we'll try those things a month after surgery in week 4 and week 5. So April 29th is kind of when I go back to relying on chewing, when I go back to eating real food. Obviously still not the food I was eating before, healthy choices. And I found, they talk about non-scale victories, things to look for, and I'm big on those already, and I've had a lot of them in the 60 pounds that I've lost. But I've also found this other thing too, which is that the entertaining side of food that I liked, not like the taste, not that stuff, but there was an element of preparing the food, like accomplishing that as a task, like trying difficult dishes or trying dishes that you haven't tried before, presenting them. I'm only getting now that all of that was kind of a big deal for me. I liked doing that. You can still enjoy that just by kind of doing it in your head, so I'm getting a lot of joy, as silly as it sounds now, out of planning healthy meals that I'm going to be able to have 3 and 4 and 5 weeks down the road, and talking with friends online about that, talking with you online about that, about some of the choices that I can be making when I can actually sit down and plan out a meal again. That's been a big thing, because for a month I've been completely disconnected from food. So to find a healthy way to bring that back into my life and to bring it in a way that puts me in control of those choices, it's been entertaining. But there has been a whole other side to this week, and that's been some of the doubt that creeps in now that the surgery's out of the way and all of this is on me, and I am making choices around food again. There are doubts that creep in about whether or not you're going to pull this off, and there's a certain sadness that happens when you go from losing 2 pounds a day to 2 pounds a week. And that's what I talk about in the blog this week. So give the post a read at eagle1035.com. You can find out more information about the Surgical Weight Loss Center, the procedure I had, and Dr. Chris Coburn, the medical director and surgeon who performed my lap band procedure. You can find all of that at obesitysurgery.ca. That's the website of the Surgical Weight Loss Center in Ontario. I'll be back again with a new post next week. Thanks so much for all of your support while I was away having the surgery, and in the week after. It really helped pull me through, and I'll meet you back here again next Friday.